Good evening everybody. I hope you're doing well this fine Sunday evening. Apologies for the slightly later start tonight. Had a little bit of a later tea tonight. Let's swap on over and into the scene right next to the scrapper. How else would we be spending our Sunday evening? Good evening all. I hope you have a lovely weekend so far. Starting off, Lizelle and Darkwing, thank you both for your subs as I was waiting here. That's very kind of you. Which one is right from the start? I will do Silent Mouse. I'll just go through and say hello to everyone who's come in. Apologies if I've missed a few. Let me just do a little bit of... whoops, that was the wrong one. There's a love heart there. But thank you all for Darkwing and Lizelle for your subs. It's very kind of you. Good evening all. Who have we got? Pastor, Silent Mouse, of course. Dutchman, Edwards, Drizzling Rose, Det's in here, Metcat, Harry Gamer... just running through Stolpcraft, Andy Magyar, and Newavin, Doc Otter, and just scrolling through Apophis, and Will Webster, good evening to you, Elos TV, Ponzi, there's lots of people, Commander Bond, Antilieth, Invi Rocks, and Karzez. You just bought your Longboy. Oh, fantastic. Congratulations, Karzez. That's a lovely thing to come into. Congratulations to you. Let's see loads of Longboy emotes in the chat for you. Congratulations. It's a massive milestone, so congratulations for that one. And oh, Jack coming in with your sub, Samba One Chef. How are you, Jack? Thanks for stopping by. We have you featured in this week's Wowhead blog, so we'll go through that in a moment. So it is live. It was live before I was, in fact. So Wowhead blog link is there. We'll be going through that first and foremost. Discuss through all the various bits and pieces that have been going on this week. So I'll click on that first and foremost, bring that over front and centre so we can talk about this. First things first, I hope you're all having a lovely Sunday so far. Lots of gold to be made, hopefully, and lots of Brutosaur success stories, which has been really nice to have this week. Lots of people have been saying they've got their Brutosaur after lots and lots of work. Magnus Game, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. So there's various bits and pieces to talk about tonight. One of the main ones being the vendor shuffle being hot fixed for the Umbral wand. That was quite an interesting one. And then Jack's got a very nice post on pairing professions, which I'll go into a little bit more detail in a moment. And then there's a whole load of really nice success stories for the Brutosaur, and people very kindly sharing all their tips and tricks and things like that. And then there's a couple of extra posts on about moderators needed for WoW economy, and an interesting rise in the token price on China. That's taken a massive spike, and completely at odds with the trends of all the other token prices as well, which is very odd. Really low gold from the auction house this week. It does happen, certainly, Silent Mouse. I've had probably a slightly less than good week this week. I mean, I haven't even relisted all my auctions at the moment this weekend, so everything has expired, so I'll have all of that to deal with as well. Crozak, good evening to you. Chance they will change the Cestus Striker vendor prices, do I think. What's the Cestus and Striker ones? Do they have a disproportionate price between the Horde and the Alliance? Because that's my feeling, that's why this one got hotfixed in particular, because there was a massive difference between the Umbral wand on Alliance side and the Umbral wand on Horde side. Has bot boost and gold seller problems, insane amount of multi-boxes. I've seen the Reddit post. I linked that at the bottom here. There does seem to be quite. I'm not sure how to describe what I saw on that Reddit post, but it seems like a crazy amount of potential bots and multi-boxes and things like that. I couldn't read any of the text, so I couldn't corroborate any of it, but it does definitely look like it's a different market than what we have at the moment. It's chaos and not fun to play anymore. Well, yes, that's from what the reports say. That's definitely. They're weapons of leatherworking, crafted from coarse leather and shimmer scale, with bloodstained bones to vent them. Yeah, they're the fist weapons, aren't they, Crozak? I don't know. I've got a feeling that they probably be okay. Depends. Like I said, if I think there's a variation between Horde and Alliance, then maybe there is a different You got your 45th garrison just 5 minutes ago. Very nice dressing rose, very nice indeed. Crazy amount of impunity. Yes, that could be another issue as well. Certainly, it's a very different system. It's administered not directly by Blizzard. I'm not sure the exact company that does it. I'm not familiar with how the market operates there, but I know they have a very different system. They did with Classic as well, because they had the token for Classic. Very different market. Managed to watch all of the 3D stream earlier. I'm a true Maya wizard. Thank you very much, Edwards. Take all the tools and engines I have at work for granted. It was really good fun. I really enjoyed finding the little Easter egg under the sea. That was really nice. That someone had spent a lot of time making that little area, filling it with treasure, and putting a whole load of N'Zoth tentacles in there. I thought that was a really nice touch, certainly. I was working on last week, finding spots for leather to craft the base weapons. Oh, right, Will, excellent. Still via full farm with the garrison. Drizzling Rose has a very specific garrison method, which is she's got down to a T with all of her alts. Very interesting doing cards and wolf farms and things like that. So there's lots of very interesting stuff. Lots of very different ways people can make gold, certainly. So let's go through the Wowhead blog first and foremost. So yes, we briefly talked about this. Vendor shuffles changing. So there was a hot fix this week. The Enchanter's Umbral Wand has been reduced by 40%. This is mainly sort of like one of the vendor shuffles. There's always been a vendor shuffle in the game, like the I talk about here about the tie spray linen pants. You can then vendor those if tie spray linen happens to be under a certain price threshold. It was 1 gold 80, and you could also do this with Shalderai silk and the pants, and that still works. And so there's always been this, even back in Classic, with some of the linen dropping down a certain price, and then you could make shirts and sell those, or robes I think it was. But there's always been a threshold, a lower threshold for certain materials that once they get below that mark, then you can turn them into a nice profit. The thing about the Umbral Wand one was it did set the tie spray linen price slightly higher at 2 gold 15 rather than 1 gold 80, and especially if you were Horde, you could get more gold that way, certainly. So I can understand why Blizzard might have picked this one in particular, simply because of the difference between Horde and Alliance. But I hope they don't sort of do widespread nerfs like this, because it will affect the bottom line price of all the materials. And it's nice to be able to find these, and if you do find them and before they become popular, you can certainly capitalise them on your market when you see anyone posting below that price. Game Cat, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. You can also farm it, farm to vendor. It's far better than running 10 times Skyrish. Is it actually better than that? That's interesting. As far as a raw gold farm goes, Will, I like the sound of that one. Still for vendor coming weekly. Just need primal recipes for the Hexweave bag. Oh, hopefully you'll get those, because the Hexweave bag is really lucrative with the garrison, certainly. Frank Fizzle, good evening to you, good afternoon, and Clotic, hope you're doing well. 10 to 12 raw gold per hour, that's very nice, Will, very nice indeed. That's a good steady amount, certainly. I didn't understand either, they could just put the Alliance one at the same price, or the Horde one at the Alliance price. Yeah, I think that would work just as well, Game Cat. Why it took a much larger reduction, I'm not sure. Maybe they felt that it needs to be more in line with the level you can get with the tie spray linen pants. Maybe they have their own internal thresholds. I mean, obviously this is Blizzard. Without any direct announcement from them, we can only speculate, certainly. Say vended gold, yeah, definitely. Raw gold, vended gold, it kind of it makes the same thing. It's basically avoiding the auction house, certainly. Hexweave bags certainly selling more than embroidered deep sea bags right now. Oh really? That's a big difference, real Ginny. I'll have to check out that, because the last time I saw them, my embroidered deep sea bags were on for about 5,000, so I'll have to check that. Got a question. Right now your realm is poop for alchemy. People fight each other putting the potion flask into red numbers. Any ideas? It's a difficult one. I would try and work on your material prices, see if you can get them as low as possible, probably even if you can buy them from someone who's getting the herbs direct and avoid the auction house. Maybe you can strike a deal and get them at a much cheaper price, hopefully. It's a tricky one because people are kind of fighting for that potion market because it is quite lucrative at the moment. I know myself on Shadow Song, I have a minimum threshold and they quite often go below that minimum anyway, so I'm not making nearly as much gold as I used to, and I'm loath to kind of try and buy out those potions in large numbers, because I do feel like they are on the decline. Now that people are getting more and more powerful, they can pretty much run through a lot of dungeons and raids and things like that much quicker without the need for potions. So maybe look at the potions that people are focusing on for maybe Mythic Plus or things like that. Unbridled and the Potion of Treasure Finding. Well, those are two good ones, certainly. Consistently selling Hexweave for 8 to 9k at the moment. Embroidered Deepsea is somewhat stuck at around 5k. Wow, Hexweave at 8 to 9k is fantastic. I really don't know why they're that high. The 10k Hexweave you sold the other day wasn't a one-off. Yeah, that's definitely very good. Maybe I ought to make sure I put some of those on the Real Genie. That's really nice. Yeah, Real Genie's on Shadow Song, same as me. Yeah, it's quite amazing. Buy out 50,000 total potions is not doable. You feel like making a huge gamble because there are so many players in the market selling them. Exactly. So I would probably, what I'm doing at the moment with my alchemist is trying to ease down the amount of stock I have. So I'm trying to keep my Zenithid prices more in line with the market prices as they fall down a little bit further, and then try and sort of maximize my margins as best as possible. So it's definitely not what it was a few weeks ago, certainly. Doing very well, thank you very much, Magnus Game. We're just going through the Wowhead blog, so we're talking about the vendor shuffle first and foremost. So there are still vendor shuffles around, like the tie spray linen pants and things like that. And as we talked about the leather working fist weapons as well. So there's certainly options there when it comes to it. No problem. And then let's move on to Jack's rather excellent post here, talking about professions and pairing them up. And it was a really nice sort of visual guide using the Miro flowchart. So if you click on this link here, or click on either the link here or click on the image itself, you can get to the actual Miro board itself. Let's load this up. Just pop that over this side, make sure I don't do anything that doxes me or Jack. So maybe I'll actually open that up in a separate window. Hold on, let me just move that back out. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll open that up in a separate window over here. That should be easier. Then I can close that one down and then we can see it just as a guest. That's easier. Now that doesn't scroll in and out, so let me just see if I can... Where's my scroll in and out? Hold on one moment. I can't quite use the board on my off screen at the moment. Let's have a look here. Just click it all. There we go, let's just zoom that out. There we go. Then I can move that over here, and then we can have a look at the board here. There we go, then I can zoom in on here. There we go. So there we can see the board in all its glory. So it's talking about mainly sort of like maximize your efficiency for all your crafting. Now Jack was saying basically this isn't necessarily a recommendation to ditch any existing professions you might have paired up. Do what works with you first and foremost, but this is if you're thinking about getting into professions and you're thinking about not necessarily at the leveling stage but more at the end stage, how you might integrate and pair up your professions. So common things like alchemy and inscription, dual crafting and engineering, and then tailoring and enchanting, and then all lots of different optional extras, things you could put in here, and why you would put them in, and then other optional things because of races and extra traits you get there. So it's a really nice sort of flowchart. I highly recommend giving it a good explore here. It is free. It's free to sign in. You can make 3 boards yourself and share those, and it's really easy to set up. I've got one myself that I use for my Patreon, where I've got all my gold making ideas thrown into one. So I would highly recommend it. It's myro.com. But yeah, this is a really nice sort of thought process, really, what to choose, how to pair them up, what races to think you might want to tie them up with. So Jack's done a really nice job with this. Thank you, Jack, for that. It's free, but 5k to me. Exactly, for a special Jack board, certainly. So I'll pop that one over there. So the link is here in the flowchart, and then I've got a close-up look snippet, so that if you are on the Wowhead blog, you can see it there. Venomero, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, I mean, I actually toyed with the idea of maybe getting rid of Inscription on Samadan and moving it over to Awakening, so that I could maybe just kind of... the main problem I've got with Inscription and Alchemy at the moment is they do need a lot from reputations. And I don't find myself farming herbs that much, although that said, I do like the ability for each of those characters who both have herbalism to be able to go out and get the herbs they need, especially when I start doing Inscription and doing the Legion Inscription. Then I can have things like the World Quest for specific herbs. So I might keep mine separate for the moment for that very reason. You just mail it. So it's nice, since you've got all the rep on the main. Yeah, I mean, having dropping herbalism for the Inscription was the best choice ever. Yeah, I think if you have put in the work for the reputations, it does make your life a lot easier, certainly. Yeah, given the high reputation requirements, that does make sense. I wouldn't do that with myself on Samadan, because I've invested so much into tailoring and enchanting that I wouldn't want to get rid of those as professions. So Samadan still will be my main on that. But when it comes to Shadowlands, perhaps I guess I'm going to try and have multiple mains when it comes to Shadowlands, because I'd like to do all the professions at the same time. I know that's a bit of a big ask given my timescales, but we'll give it a go, certainly. So thinking about pairing up professions is a really good idea at this stage, especially as we're heading towards Shadowlands, and thinking about how the professions are going to work there. Yeah, I would definitely recommend give it a good look at. Pandemonium, thank you very much for the follow. You'll farm my herbs for me. Well, thank you, Will. That's very kind of you. That certainly makes my life a lot easier. So I would consider actually taking Inscription off of Samadan and putting it onto Awakening, so that my Druid can have both Alchemy and Inscription, because I think he is further on. Although it might be tempting maybe to put the Alchemy on Samadan instead. There's options there. Maybe I could do them both. Maybe they could both have Alchemy and Inscription. Although that would be good for the daily cooldown for Alchemy. I'm not sure having 2 Inscription characters would be that much useful. Maybe keep Alchemy on... keep Herbalism on my Druid, as he's a Druid, and then maybe Alchemy and Inscription on Samadan. That might work as well. There's so many options, definitely. I get bonus skills, which make it easier leveling, since skills yellow and orange longer. Not after. Is that for make it easier for leveling? Could be. I'm talking about Inscription last night for the race. Oh yes, the race bonuses, yes. So it gives you a broader range, so you can level them up. So last night doing going about collecting the Legion glyphs you don't have yet. Now I'm only missing 4. Very nice, Edwards. I'll be doing that journey myself, because I would like to get into the Legion glyph market, certainly. Link for this, Crow Coins? Yeah, certainly. Exclamation Wowhead will take you to the Wowhead blog itself, and then the link to the Miro board is either on clicking the image here or clicking on the flowchart link here. But I'd highly recommend giving that a check out. Thank you, Jack, for making such a comprehensive post. It was very nice. Just wanted to make sure you're changing off Goblin. Oh, right, okay. Change the look of your character more, and they sell really nicely. Yeah, I think that's what people are looking for at this stage, is cosmetics, and there are a lot of new characters around at the moment, so certainly. But it's becoming apparent that it's worth it to have your main crafters as turns you enjoy playing. Also important, you need, as you will need to farm the reps. Yeah, I actually thinking about enjoyment, I've enjoyed playing my rogue more than I've enjoyed playing my druid. I mean, the druid is great for solo tanking stuff in bear form and things like that, but I've really enjoyed playing the rogue and being able to sneak into places and then hide and then grab the things I need. I really enjoy the pickpocketing element to it, so I could see myself playing a rogue quite a lot more, so I would be tempted to pick up alchemy on that rogue. I'm not going to decide just yet. I'm going to have a think about it and decide where I'm going to go with it. You'd like 5 demon hunters. Well, that's going to come in Shadowlands, isn't it? You can make more than 1 demon hunter. Definitely. Sold 8 glyphs in the last 2 days with an average of 2k profit. Easy money. Nice thing, they only take 1 silver deposit, which is really nice. Same as enchants don't take a lot of deposit either as well. So, moving on, there's been some really nice Brutosaur success stories. Lots and lots of people have been being able to get the money they've needed after putting in a lot of work and effort into getting their Brutosaurs. So I wanted to share a few here. One from Dala GG, I've got his YouTube link there, on how he went about getting his Brutosaur a while back. And then others are more recent, Brazia Edge and Rawonka, and they have some really nice tips and things here. So the first one was someone who has they're on a low pop EU realm, and they did mainly farming from the looks of things, very similar to what Kuhn did to get his Brutosaur. So basically it's going out and farming herbs. At this time the price was decent, and they were also to get into a farming community and farm anchorweed as a raid, which sounds like it was certainly useful in terms of being effective, because they were able to get 150 to 200 pieces of anchorweed per hour, which sounds like a huge amount, certainly. Annette, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And then there's loads more in their post actually, so I highly recommend go and have a look at their post, because there's a lot more detail in here. I simply just summarised a few little bits and pieces here. But the main things here, they go 3 hours of anchor farming, 1 hour of honeyjack hive jellies, and 1 hour of anything else like kata herbs or any legacy ores and things. And then weekends, as much anchor farms you can do. People at Radiant, the weekends anchorweed is hot to sell. So basically it's mainly focusing on anchorweed for them, and they were able to get enough for the 5 million. So that's definitely, if that's something you find enjoyable, then this is an option, certainly. Asking mages to portal me, they're so nice. Most of them click cancel when you trade them gold. That's very kind of them. Triple Gnome, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. McLilsey, good evening to you. Need my experienced opinion. I can do my best. Isn't it better to change craft value from first min buyout DB market to min buyout DB market? Usually min buyout will be lower than DB market. I can't really think of a reason why. I can't remember there being a craft. Is the craft value actually saying first between min buyout and DB market? I wonder. Let's have a look. I can't remember what the default is. Jacobam, thank you very much for the follow. Go settings, crafting. Oh no, default craft manual. First between DB min buyout and DB market. Okay, so it's looking at DB min buyout first, simply because that is usually the lower one, and it's also probably the most relevant one for right now. And then DB market, if there isn't a DB min buyout, although very rarely will there not be a DB min buyout, and DB market is more of another way. You could look at that, you could change that any way you like, really, whatever makes sense to you. You could do an average between the two, an average between DB min buyout and DB market, because DB min buyout is actually a very variable figure when it comes to TSM, because it could be, depending on how, when it was last scanned, it could be massively less or massively higher than the DB market value. So I would say my recommendation would be to play around and find something that suits you. I've always kept mine at the regular as it has been default, and it's worked well for me. So I haven't really bothered changing it since then. But it's a good thought process. I certainly would recommend giving it a think, certainly. Right, where's the Wowhead blog gone? I've lost it. That's the Professions one. There we go. There's the Wowhead blog. There we go. Jacoban, good evening to you. What custom price sources do I use? I don't use a lot of custom sources myself. I pretty much keep things as default. The only thing I've changed in my my material base cost is to include average buy in there. If someone posts one item for 1 silver by mistake instead of 10 gold, you use 1 silver. Yes, exactly as Darkwing said. Since with us DB min 99% of the time, exactly as Darkwing said, it will get used first, certainly. What else did I miss here? Did that. Jeannie, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. I come to the gathering of gold makers. Turplicious, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've recovered from your 24-hour stream. So we were talking about gold making journeys to the 5 million, and then Dana GG's got a great how he made his 5 million for the long boy, and goes into a lot of detail about sort of inscription and the various things to do there, and the milling and 2x4 farming, material farming, specific things there. So there's quite a lot of different things that Dala does for the sort of like the breadth as gold making abilities here. So there's a lot of different things to look into, lots of highly interesting farms and things like that you could look at here. It's got a great video going through it as to how you could do that, and also check out the Worth It add-on he's been developing, which is definitely worth having a look, because it ties in with TSM and will give you some ideas for farms. So this is kind of like another extension from this farming post from earlier. This is also a lot of farming for things. So if you enjoy farming and you want to look at a few different things, then this is a more in-depth version and more specific of things that you can do if you're looking for alternate ways to make the gold that you need in order to get the Brutosaur mount, certainly. Ruta Sun Cow, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. Sorry if I butchered your name. Still salty on the vendor price reduction of the Emperons. Yes, Lady Daisy, it did come as a bit of a shock, just that one specifically to come through. It is odd, certainly, especially if you were making use of it. But I didn't do it myself because I'm Alliance, so I didn't have much of a cost difference myself, so I never really bothered myself. So I didn't feel the hit myself. But I have heard a lot of people say that, certainly. Still kind of tired. No problems. It came after you'd made 5,104 wands. Ouch. Well, yes, I can understand why you'd be salty by then, definitely. Makes you nervous about the fist weapons. Yes, or maybe just keep it running through, Will, and maybe not stock up on them as much, and just try and make what you can, certainly. You could say the Worth It add-on as well. Worth it. Most definitely, Gwilyn. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. Same with the card of omens that Drizzling Rose. Yes, well, you never know how things might change with Blizzard, so hopefully they'll keep things as they are, or maybe they'll introduce more things. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out in Shadowlands and the new ways we're going to find to make gold there. Would it make sense to combine 2 armor crafting professions to make farming old world recipes more efficient? That's a good idea, Bacon Snacks. I would say yes, you could possibly just tie together, say, leatherworking and blacksmithing, But for me, I guess I've always kept my armour crafting professions to a character that can use that type of armour, simply from a utility point of view, that there are some things, and there may be some things in the future, where you can craft a certain type of armour that's really useful for your class, and so I've always, myself, just chosen to keep them on a character that can use that armour. Before I went live, that we can reflip the non-epic cards of Omens. So I'm thinking of doing a test in a month's time on your second account where you open 50,000 cards and reopen all the greens and see if the average is better or worse that way. Ah, interesting. Sorry for this question. No problem. There's no problems with questions. And Arrakis, thank you very much for the follow. How can I make, like in Transmog, selling price in 80%? So as Darkwing has said there, 80% DB market, or 80% DB region market average would be the two ones. You just put the percentage and a space put in front of it, and that should work for you. You could also times it by 0.8. That also does the same thing. And then the last Brutosaur one was a interesting journey. Excuse me, because it started with farming, and then it moved on to flipping. And then it went into basic crafting, and then it went into advanced crafting. And what I really liked about this post was basically how it shows the kind of like the evolving gold making attitude, where you basically start off something that is relatively easy to pick up to start off with to get you some capital, and then if you so choose, you can then look at other markets and expand into different things. If you really enjoy crafting, then you can start building into that. And then once you learn more about it, then taking that even further and just taking it further and further diversifying. So it was a really nice, sort of view on the thought process as to how you would expand your market, certainly. So I'd highly recommend giving that one a read as well. And then obviously it was a lot of work up front, but getting 5 million on a high pop server is definitely doable. In Shadowlands, your main's going to have Inscription and Alchemy, and your farm character is Herbalism, but having to suggest on the other there, Mining, just for pure sell. That could be a good idea. If you got a specific farming character, then why not pair Herbalism and Mining together, certainly. And then moving on, we've got the WoW Economy actual thread itself. The WoW Economy Reddit themselves are putting a call out for moderators. So if you are thinking, sorry, excuse me, oh dear, I had a frog in my throat then. So yes, the WoW Economy Reddit are looking for some moderators. So if you fancy yourself as a moderator, especially with Shadowlands coming out, there's going to be a lot of traffic coming through. Right, one, two. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. So if you are interested in taking up that role, there's an application form there. Herb mining on a druid, can sell the ores on your route, and then the herbs in your crafter. Yeah, exactly. It's a good combination, certainly. If you're keeping tailoring in Shadowlands, 100% dependent on the new bags. If they're not interesting to make, you'll get herbalism in the first few weeks. I'm going to always keep tailoring on Samadan, certainly. But I'll look to see what happens. I certainly wouldn't want to drop any professions at this stage, certainly. There goes scrap time. Definitely Crowsack. I know the feeling, certainly. Samadan's done a huge amount of that recently as well. Would it be better to make a high mountain Tauren with mining and skinning for the chance to get additional meat? Would that be optimal? It's a good idea, certainly. The extra meat, how much that is useful to you depends on how much that meat sells for. I don't recall a lot of meat selling for a great deal, but your main also can't use cloth armor, so it's purely for the bags. That's fair enough, certainly. Yeah, tailoring and charting is a really nice combination. It's always worked well, and I've had it since Burning Crusade, because I started with vanilla with Samadan. Samadan had tailoring and engineering and first aid were my professions I focused on back in vanilla, and then I went through and oh yes, rubbery flanks, that's a good point actually. Thanks for reminding me of that, certainly. Fausto Greco, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well this fine evening. And then to finish off the Wowhead blog, there was an interesting post on the actual main WoW Reddit about the problems that the Chinese servers have been having with their economy and their servers, and it was very interesting to look at here on the prices of the token. Normally, most realms, most regions rather, all share the same kind of trends up and down. You can see this throughout the whole expansions. Yet you can see here the Chinese region has taken a massive detour and gone incredibly high over the past month or two, certainly. Week 3 update, 1.7 million, 400k this week, purely from inscription. You can add in cooking, so you can keep it in one character for now. Very nice, Edwards. Diversify more and more and find your niches. But that's a really solid amount of gold, definitely. Nice thing though, at least the last 2 expansions you could drop profession but pick it back up where you left it. Not sure if Shadowlands will have that. It depends on how much you invested in the previous ones. Because the tomes that you get to bring back the profession don't bring back everything, certainly. So I'd be wary about doing that. It's fine for the recent stuff, certainly. Just for the quest learned ones, as Dark Queen said, yeah, you still have to buy all the ranks again. Oh, I didn't realise about the ranks. Yeah, definitely. At this rate, you can get your Brutosaur, just keep on trucking. Exactly. Focus down on Edwards and you'll get there, certainly. Tomes are the only for the collecting professions, yeah. So yeah, this was interesting. I didn't really sort of know much from the actual thread itself on the actual main WoW Reddit thread, talking about the different reasons about how they've got issues with people charging real money for mythic boosts and things like that. It really does seem like almost like a Wild West, unpoliced, kind of like a mess at the moment. It'll be interesting to see. I've got no idea, and I don't know anyone who's been on the Chinese realm, so I can't corroborate any of it. So I'm only going on what I can read on the actual Reddit post itself. But it does, the Wild East, yeah, exactly. It definitely does seem like it's out of hand, and I wonder what kind of steps are going to be able to be made to sort of bring that back in line, perhaps. But you can definitely see there's a definite change in the market here, with the token price going sky highs, definitely. One of the wise. Excellent, Darkwing. Fantastic, that's good to know. From St. Canard. I have no idea where a lot of people are from, but it's amazing. Oh, I'm now AFK. Hold on. But that's the great thing about WoW, is that everyone can meet everyone. You can fly all over. Well, the US and EU regions correlate nicely. They do usually. Those are the 2 that I've really sort of had most interest in over my time in World of Warcraft, and you can see that they do actually follow each other very, very closely, with EU's just slightly higher most of the times. But that's it for the Wowhead blog. If you do have any comments or suggestions, please do let me know, and I'll certainly try to include as much as I can next time. So thank you all for bearing through as I went through that. Lots of interesting stuff there. Thanks again to Jack, certainly, for your profession post. Be nice to see some more, actually, if you do have any other ideas for posts, not just Jack, but anyone else. If you do think there's something you would like me to feature on the Wowhead blog, please do let me know, and I'm more than happy to include things. Remember to do all your emissaries tonight, since the rep boost is over tonight. Oh, is it gone tonight? Oh, you know, I'd completely forgotten about the rep boost. I'd really sort of given it very little attention, simply because it wasn't as appealing to me, really. Excellent. Okay, thank you, Jack. I'll look forward to that one. Right, we'll close this one down because I've got a whole load of auctions to sort out because everything will have expired. So we'll carry on over on Samadan. We'll do a little bit of gold making and continue the theme for tonight. I wonder what the rep boost will replace by. I wonder. I got a feeling they'll just let it. They'll let it go, and because we've still got the XP boost, it's been absolutely amazing. Right, so we've got a load of stuff here. We do have, there's a reset on the market there on Machinist Brilliance and Force Multipliers. So I've been the beneficiary of that one. But we also have a whole load of expires to deal with here. So let's sort those out first. I've also got a bag, I've got a few bits of tight spray linen here. Tight spray linen braces. I made about 1,500 braces a few days ago, and I haven't finished processing them yet. So that's another big thing to do. I won't do that on stream though, I'll just go through the gold as much as I can. You reset them this morning. Excellent, thank you Harry Gamer. Hopefully you can get some decent sales out of that. Because they do, especially, I've managed to reset Force Multiplier before. I did the same with Machinist Brilliance on reset day. It didn't work out as well as it could have done for me. But it wasn't too bad overall. Let's take some more expires there. There was talk about an alt-friendly buff, BFA buff coming, which focuses on alt catch-up legendary code. Oh, that could be a nice Silent Mouse. I like the idea of that one, certainly. Do they have a main-friendly version as well for those that haven't got very far on their main cloak? That would be nice. Just 1.8 million away. Well, that's very close, Clotic. You'll get there hopefully soon enough. Let's just deal with all of these and we'll repost all this lot on. Not restocking your cloaks until you know what it is. Yeah, that's a good idea. Although I'm still selling cloaks occasionally. Alright, so we'll just go through and run a post scan of everything first. I'll let that run through. Doesn't really help on the gold making, but it helps on your power. Yes, which could, in theory, therefore then help on power ultimately. Not fussed about the catch-up, to be honest. Most of the gear will be irrelevant in Shadowlands, this is true. A scrapper speed buff would be really nice. But then I would think more people would be just mass scrapping, and the price of enchants and the materials for them will just crash even further, perhaps. If it was done at this stage, certainly. If there was maybe a pair of scrapper gloves you could get, like the chef's hat, that would be something I'd be interested in doing a load of quests for. The Worth It add-on is saying to sell the chewed-on reins of the terrific Terrified Pack Mule. Gold per hour is 355k. I have no idea on that particular one, Pastor. I would check out the Worth It Discord on DalaGG's Discord and maybe ask it there, because that sounds like a very specific one, certainly. Or remove the scrapper altogether would be much better, definitely. But I hope they don't have a scrapper mechanic in Shadowlands, because I like the idea of not having one, certainly. You need to be in a group to farm 2x4 for that to work. Ah, right, okay. So we'll take that lot, and then I need to disenchant the few braces that I do have at the moment. We'll get rid of that and we'll clear out a little bit of bag space at the same time. Scrapper is awesome, joke. Yeah. Would rather have an auction house speed up buff. Yeah, I know on some servers the auction house can definitely be a lot slower. I'm blessed with Shadow Song being relatively fast compared to a lot of other servers, so it would be nice if the auction house was a bit faster across the board, certainly. Waiting to buy Longboy the last few weeks. I'm hoping Hoping we are removing for the vendor discount. Oh, you think there might be a vendor discount on the Brutosaur? I'm not sure they would do that at this stage, because that would certainly be a kick in the teeth for those that have just bought that. Certainly, a portable scrapper. I'd rather have a portable mailbox. Only need 180k. That's very close. The last 500k has been a pain. I know when you've got your sights sets on that target, it can be tough. But hang in there, you'll get there, I'm sure. I've got some more sales coming in there. A couple of embroidered deep sea bags of 5,500. Yeah, I'd definitely pay 2 million for a portable mailbox. Have we got everything? No, we need a little bit more. 6 more expires. We'll go through that. Oh, Natty, thank you very much. Resubbing 3 months in a row. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Oreo, who's just behind me, says his thanks as well. Good evening to you. Hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. A lot of emotes for you. Thank you very much indeed. A portable Stormwind. That would be nice. Definitely the entire city that you can just bring out like Dalaran. Alright, let's go post a whole lot more on. Might as well get our auctions on at the moment. Sale is always painful for people buying full price earlier. Just call it early adopter fee if you don't wait for discounts. Yeah, that could work, Darkwing. It is. I can understand the mentality, really, isn't it? Portable mailbox with a 2-minute cooldown. Yeah, something like that. That would be useful. I know engineering has the Molly, don't they? Yeah, the problem is the long cooldown. There are a number of different mailbox things, like the KT stamp whistle from the Lost Mail quest line, and the Argent. Is it the Argent Crusade or the Argent Tournament? That's got one as well. But I haven't got either of those. Right, let's run through. I'll just take rid of all of those. Hekios, good evening to you. As a new crafter to WoW, you've got 300 in old stuff, but characters aren't high level. Is there a way to advance crafting without leveling? Not if you want to do the other expansions, in which case you'll need to be the appropriate level for those expansions. Pipe Butter, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Let's get all of that lot on. Haven't looked at the prices at all. I've just literally thrown them on. I'm down to 309,000 gold, so could do with some more gold coming into the coffers. Let's deal with the rest of the expires if we can. And now we're just left with tide spray linen braces throughout the whole of this. Got 453, but I have had, since I did this, I have had some sales. So what have we got here at the moment? Otherworldly bag. Uncanny pants we've got there, a couple of deep sea bags, and then the machinist brilliance and force multiplier there. So 31,000 in sales on that point, which is quite nice. We could do with a bit more though. So what I'll have to do is take the sales there. I have to remember that at 31,000. Yeah, you could do the KT one. That will be the easiest way, I guess, to do it. And then we've got a whole load of braces here, so let's post on what we have. I could probably go through these braces quite quickly. There's only 400 of them. There's probably less than that because I'll have some sales in the bottom of that mailbox. RSB London, thank you for the follow. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. Let's go through. So we're just posting that one. Okay, so not a lot there. And how much bag space do we have? 117. Right, so let's take some of these braces. Let's open up them all. See how fast this is and see how quickly we can scrap through this. It's probably going to be probably 3 to 4 mailbox openings, and then with the appropriate disenchanting and scrappings to go along with that. Is Audi bags buggy sometimes? I like that Audi bags. It can sometimes be a little bit buggy, but I found it's been fine, especially with the TSM add-on. only 400. It was 1500 that I made initially, and then we've got a fair amount. Eddy bags. But then let's just go start scrapping this lot. We've already got what have we got? 202 expulsum at the moment. So that's a huge amount. This is one of the problems I do find with Addy bags, is especially when you have a lot of different currencies, is that the bag ends up becoming really long, which isn't very useful, definitely. Yeah, you can remove them. I've got. I was able to get rid of most of the ones I didn't use, but I think a few more extra ones have crept in since I last filtered it out. Because you can go into here and go into where's the currencies, filters, plugins, profiles, currency. You can take some of these out. Probably don't need ancient mana. Probably need that and corrupted mementos. Echoes of Nyalotha, maybe. Garrison resources I'd like to keep. Legion for war supplies, probably not. Nether shards I like to keep. Mana pools, the balloons I'll take off. Those seals. And I'll take off those as well, because I don't really need those. Close those. So that leaves me with certainly a lot less. If I bring up my bags now, they all should be nicely condensed together like that, which is quite a nice way of just doing it. There we go. Eddie is driving the Audi. You have the resources in your Titan bar. Yeah, if there's other ways of having your resources, then that's definitely worth it. What have we got here? What's that? Replicating Seed of Abundance. Infuse your Heart of Azeroth with life. Oh, I didn't realise I had that. I'll have to deal with that at some point. There we go. You can put it in vertical mode. That would be interesting. I quite like it at the bottom though. I don't think I'd get used to it being along the side. Go through all of that. Just go through and get this going. Milling herbs from before WoD is so tedious. Yeah, it can certainly be. What is the reason for scrapping this? So basically the process I've got here is I'm getting myself veiled crystals and umbra shards at a reasonable price by doing this. So I'm making tight spray linen braces. Normally I would send the greens to my leather worker and make braces that way, but because I have an abundance of, not gloom dust, of umbra shards, I'm going to actually use the umbra shards and make them into honourable combatant scepters, and then I'm going to disenchant those and turn those umbra shards into veiled crystals. I'm also basically getting enough expulsum so that I can do all of my uncanny tailoring gear as well at the same time. Do I still need to be tracking the nether shards and order hall resources? Probably not. It's nice to know the nether shards amount, because then I can go and turn those into chaos crystals when I need to, because I've got a good amount of there from doing the Elite Strike Centinax. So if I do ever need chaos crystals, then it's quite easy to just see them there. That would be the main reason I would be doing that. Debating on whether to focus on herbalism or alchemy for smaller sales, or getting some bigger ticket items on the auction house, like mounts that don't sell fast but larger profits, especially this late in the expansion. I would guess the first thing to think about is why not both? Try and do a bit of both, diversify as much as you can, Doc Otter. Especially with the mounts and things being slow sellers, then if you can keep the herbs and alchemy ticking over and feeding your sort of like more daily gold, and then you can use the mount sales to just give you a nice extra boost on top of that. Alright. Just reminds you have to post your sky golem. There we go. Right, so let's open up more, down to 334. I'm hoping to get some gold at the bottom of the mailbox. That's why I'm doing this on stream. Normally I wouldn't do this on stream, but it'd be nice to just see if we have got anything at the bottom of this that is gold. Relatively large amounts in one go. Alright, how are we doing for space there? Another 14 left, so I can probably just take a bit more. Cooked meat, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. There we go. That's the bags full. Let's head on back over. Obviously this gets smaller and smaller. There we go, we just sold Tome of Illusions Pandaria for 1,200. That's a good price for it. And there goes the Tome of Illusions Draenor. So that was a small profit, 98, 970 profit on the Pandaria one. And Saphosia, good evening to you. Where's my scrapper? There we go. Queue all of that. I'll get that going, and then so we're at 217 expulsum at the moment, so a huge amount for the moment. I noticed I had a good point on a stream that Sky Golem sales could spike closer to a new expansion. Yes, I think they tend to, because people start to look to their gathering and what they can do to gather more efficiently, and the Sky Golem is definitely one of those. I really don't like that you need bag space when you already have things you get from the scrapper. It does fill up, certainly. I find my tie spray and nylon thread just creeps into my available bag space. What would be nice if I could disenchant at the same time as scrapping. That would also be nice. Just heard a sale go off in the background. Let's go quickly check that. Okay, that was the Tome of Illusions Azeroth. So someone's getting all their Tomes of Illusions, it would look like. And there goes Tomes of Illusion Cataclysm. I haven't got... there goes Northrend. I haven't got the other Tome of Illusions. I've got the Shadow Pan one, but I haven't got the other Cataclysm one. What else was that one? There we go. There goes Secrets of the Shadow Pan. The other one is the one that I'm missing, though. So it's nice to see all of those Tome of Illusions come in at once. Elemental Lords, so that's the one. I need to go and do the Therazine rep and get that. Is it Therazine? Yes, it is, isn't it? The Earth Mother one. It's pretty fast, is it, David Jones? Okay. Well, probably at this level, certainly. I could probably do it within a few quest lines, certainly. Yes, it is Therazine. Okay, thank you. Because I remember when I did Cataclysm, whilst I was catching up, this was a long time ago. I don't remember doing that actual zone itself, so I think I missed out as Samadan on all of those quests, so I don't think I've got much reputation there at all. Something being loving about your gold making journey, it's giving you a reason to go back and do old reps, old dungeons. It is. It's really nice. I would like to, once I've got every profession, I would like to start filling out all my professions backwards and getting the depth of professions. That would definitely be worth it in my eyes. What did we just sell there? That was Tome of Illusions Outland. Wow. Okay, so it's Tome of Illusions Outland. Did we sell that twice? I wonder. Azeroth, can't see any more after that. I've got a feeling we sold that one twice for some reason. Let's queue all of that though. Is there a way to see if you've had a sale or mail from the character select, or from character select, or while you're logged into a different character? You can't at the moment, Hekios, but that is one of the things that's coming in Shadowlands, is that if you have unopened mail on your character, you'll see it in the character select screen. So that's a really nice quality of life change that's coming. Normal heroic mythic for gold, you make about 7k gold in an hour. Not sure it's great or anything, but it's raw gold and you're too lazy to play the auction house. Well, absolutely, do what's fun for you, Vincent Drizzle, and if that's what you want to do with your time, then no one here can tell you otherwise. I want to get the old world recipes too. Maybe we can do some in groups if needed. Yeah, definitely, Krozak. I'd be up for doing a few in the future. excuse me, I've got really itchy nose tonight. I think Oreo's fur is flying around. Alright, so that lot's done. We can then disenchant the blues. Easy enough to do it on one character. I'm too lazy for rural gold farms. I find I prefer the auction house personally over raw gold. I couldn't do the same thing again and again and again. Although I do understand getting efficient at it and doing it quicker and quicker does have a certain amount of appeal, certainly. What percentage do snipers think about getting those items, I wonder? Get this BOE to sell both. Don't want to drop too low. Been dropping it 50k a day. I guess that the price point is the point at where someone's going to buy it, isn't it? And you just never know, really. How many jobs do I cover at the moment? Do you mean in WoW? Basically, I do as much as I possibly can in the time I've got available to me. Most of your gold making methods, all the work comes in setup, and then you just need to do daily catch-ups. So yeah, I mean, once you're set up with a lot of these things, it's nice to just keep them going, certainly. Mix it up with a vendor to gold farms, like 1 hour in one spot, next in another, next up. That's a good idea, actually. I like that, Will. I think if I was to do it, I would certainly do it that way. Okay, 222 Mel. We're getting through this. Burning CT, up to 1.6 million gold, and your operation is expanding. Very nice. Do you recommend keeping all auctions on one toon or diversifying and auctioning from different characters? Personally, I like to do it on each character that does that profession, does all the auctioning on that character. Some people like to have one bank toon that does all of that. Oh, we've got some gold coming in, so this must be the end of the tide spray soon. But it's completely up to you how you prefer to do it. You're leveling up blacksmithing, and remember, I have tailoring and leatherworking. So yes, I have inscription. I have everything except for engineering and jewel crafting and archaeology. There we go. Suddenly, oh, thank you, Silent Mouse. I did have 31,000. We now have another 38,000 in the bottom of that mail, and some more tide spray to process as well. So that should definitely work. Try to hit 1 million on every character. Will make it a good motivation. That is a good one, actually, Jack. I also like the other side effect of having it all on each character and keeping their gold levels, an eye on their own gold levels as they're spending their own gold, is you can keep an eye on how profitable those profession pairs are that you've currently got. It is a lot to cover, definitely, but I would like to have them all, definitely, and get them set up nice and efficiently, certainly. 1 million, yeah, 1 million on each character for Drizzling Rose is a lot of characters. That way you know who needs some attention as well. Exactly, Jack. You can see, okay, well, I noticed this with El Morte, who was doing just the transmute alchemy. His gold was only ever around sort of like 10 or 15,000 gold, so it really wasn't worth my while just doing that. So it made more sense to take that character and change it into something else. Whereas I could see that my leatherworker was getting a decent amount of sale from all the notorious and sinister and uncanny gear. So that was fairly steady on its own. And then since the Awakening did alchemy, that was really good until alchemy took a bit of a nosedive, and then I haven't been able to recoup the costs on that. And then Samadan just pretty much is the main bread and butter gold maker for me, with tailoring and cooking and enchanting. Bodsmiths, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. Going for 5 million again, even though you already have the Brutosaur, just to say you did it when the inspection was ending, to all the whiners. I mean, I think it's nice to have a solid amount of gold on each character anyway, just so that you've got flexibility. Because with that flexibility comes choices, and you can decide what you're going to do, whether you're going to invest in things or whether you're going to spend it on some vanity items or whatever you want. Yeah, the 2 million spider is definitely on my list of things I would like. At the moment I'm funding tokens at the moment, So a lot of my gold recently has been gone into tokens. But then once that's more settled, then I'll definitely see if I can get some... I would like to increase the amount I've got at the moment, certainly. Like, I'm not comfortable with Samadan having less than 1 million gold. Mr. Beta, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Slash flex. I don't have the time to farm the 5 million. Too busy leveling your alts. I mean, if you're finding alts fun, then by all means do that. Do what's fun for you in the game more than anything else. And then if you like leveling alts, do what Drizzling Rose does and have them all set up for garrisons and make your gold that way. Alright, we had some sales in there. I didn't spot what they were. Let's keep going around. Once you have them all set up efficiently, let me know, because the more I did, the bigger the time sink grew. Can't make through all your crafters daily now. Oh, interesting, Commander Bond. Yeah, I would like to see how I do get that working in the long term, certainly. So let's just open up the last of the tie spray braces, and then we can just see the gold. So we did have 31,000. So this is my gold for the week on Samadan. Obviously, I haven't had any sales recently because I let everything expire. But it looks like we've got, that's 51,000, so 82,000 in total for Samadan. Not a huge amount, sometimes we've had more than that. That's in sales, not in profit. Shadowweed Mask there for 3,800. Some Tome of Illusions there. We also had some sales just come in of Tome of Illusions. Uncanny Satin Cloak for 2,000. What else have we got? Nice. Baked Potato for 4,500, that's nice. And Mekdal's Big Mech for 1,500. Some shirts, some enchants. So a good mix of different bits and pieces. We'll take all of those for the moment, certainly. Zekala, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Just casual gold maker that made 1 to 1.5 million a month. That's a decent amount, definitely, just from having all of the all of your alts going. So let's just have a look at what those sales were. What have we got? Flying Carpet, that was quite cheap at 800. Then all the different Tomes of Illusions. Pretty much one of everyone. So that was pretty nice. A few thousand in sales there. 13,000 in total. Just in the last hour. So that's very nice. So we'll have to restock on those. I won't do the restocking just yet. I'll finish off this scrapping, and then we'll have a look at our other characters. It's got plenty more to do tonight, certainly. Is Gold via Garrison still viable? Most definitely, as Drizzling Rose will testify to. Either through the Card of Omens, as she does, or Hexweave Bags is another one. It all depends on how you have it set up and how efficient you can be, certainly. 120 in auction house sales this week since Tuesday's reset. Not bad, being fairly new to the gold making side of things. Very nice, Miss Vader. Very nice indeed. Have I done the Mythic Plus, or will I do it on Tuesday? I will probably do it on Tuesday, Silent Mouse. I've also got some Battlegrounds to do, which I haven't done because I could do with some more Marks of Honor for El Morte, my blacksmith, to get the uncanny recipes a little bit cheaper. Myra is very valuable visual for your dyslexic brain, so you can figure out how to use it. I'll make the guide there. If it looks good, step 1, step 2, optional step 2. Excellent, Drizzling Rose. I find it the same with my Myra board. It's a very nice way of just being able to just splurge your brain graphically and connect everything up with arrows is really nice, definitely. I mean, I don't know if you've seen my Myro board. I can show it here of my gold making. This is I have this available for patrons to have a look at, but it's basically all my thought processes for WoW gold making, and then I just splurge everything out on there. This is what mine looks like and I just talk about sort of different prices of things and connecting things up, drawing arrows to the figures of everything, and just trying to work my head around figures and things like that. That's just on of alchemy. That's the checklist for all my alchemy, and then I've got things like all the cooking, the different recipes, looking up where they went, Children's Week, the delicious chocolate cake, where to get the small eggs, all my little bits of research and things like that, what to do and things like that. There's a whole load of things. This is basically an insight into my brain as I think about various bits and pieces. Robe of Internal Rule, what it needs, where you can get it from, loads and different things like that. But it's great fun, definitely. Is Myra free? Yes, it is. There is a paid version, obviously, but the free version allows you to have three different boards yourself, so you can just basically you can do it that way. Do I make gold by scrapping? Not literally by scrapping, but I will eventually make gold by selling the enchants. That's the main reason for doing this, really. Getting enough expulsum to make both my uncanny gear and to be able to make my veiled crystals for my enchants. So let's just leave all of those, and then we can disenchant this lot. That one in VSOX is available to patrons, so you are more than welcome to grab it from there, amongst other things that I have available, like Samadan story time, and I've got some of my wallpapers as well of 3D renders and things like that. The Cow King, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And Tegnaro. You have all your notes on Notepad. that works just as well, Will. Even traditional notepads rather than the actual Windows notepad as well. Probably gets questioned all the time, but what realm am I? Not at all, no problem there, Seedin. I am on Shadow Song on EU. When I crafted the braces, how to filter out only disenchanting the blue ones. So I have on my scrapper, I have my ignore list. You can't quite see it at the bottom of my screen here. If I move my camera down, you can see here filtered down here is all of my different blue ones, so they don't get scrapped. And then I do all the scrapping first, and then I do the disenchanting afterwards. That's how it works for me. Maester Uno, good evening to you. Hope you're having a lovely evening so far. Really enjoying the gold making bed with the Xbox controller. Yeah, definitely. That looked really good, Drizzling Rose. I like that one. Your desk is cluttered with lots of bits of paper with different notes related to WoW. Yes, I can relate to that, certainly. Can I give you advice as to which is more consistent, stable for starting gold making farm today? So I would say, if you really want to look up the various raw gold farms that are out there, running dungeons several times and vendoring everything you get there, just to give yourself some starting capital. Or you could look at farming herbs and or especially current content stuff if you have flying, and trying to sell those. Those are usually the faster moving things. Once you get an idea for markets, then I'd probably suggest moving into professions and seeing which ones work for you on your server, and then build it from there. And also, first and foremost, make sure you have fun. So you can filter the scrapping on rarity. Not necessarily, I just added all of those items specifically to the ignore list. Right, so let me just double check. I have cleared my mailbox here. I've probably got a whole load of stuff I need to restock for Samadan, but we'll go through, let's check our other characters and see where they're at for tonight. So we'll jump on over to my alchemist. Again, everyone's reputation, not reputation, everyone's auctions have expired. I haven't gone through and checked on them recently. Currently, Age Awakening was in Toldagor because we were finding out about that secret spot from Thursday's stream. Oh, hold on. just about caught myself in time. Even though I would have probably died, I managed to catch that one in time. That was lucky. Last time I did that, I died. So where are we in Tol de Gore? We're missing... we're just over this side, aren't we? There we go. Nice save. What secret spot? I'll see if I can find it again. We need to go over to the docks over here in Tol de Gore. And we need to be out far enough, kind of diagonally from here. And then we need to be quite a far ways out, because we could barely see it in the fog. It was somewhere like there, I think. And then if you dive into the water down here, and let's have a look. Did I miss it? I might have been too far out, because we're just near the edge here. Let's go in. Here it is. Just in the water, there is a sunken ship. And then inside this sunken ship, there is basically a N'Zoth eye with a whole load of gold and a whole load of tentacles, which we discovered just by looking at the 3D assets on Thursday. It's amazing. I got no idea what it's there for, but it's a lovely little piece of geometry and a nice little bit of a broken ship around it, and a little skeleton of a fallen treasure hunter there. I thought it was lovely to see that. But that was a really nice find on Thursday. And the coordinates for that, if you are interested, is 9850. We are literally out in the middle of Tol de Gore over here. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that you would find at any other point, which is where no one would go. No one would think to go out here. But there it is. How am I planning to use the art I did in the last stream? Well, I'd like to make it a little bit neater. It's still not finished yet, and I will probably post a few screenshots and renders of it. Do those as desktop backgrounds perhaps, and then I might do a little animation. What I would like to do further down the line is I'd like to do a little bit more research into fluid simulations, and that would be a really nice one to do, sort of crashing waves going into the sort of around the coast and things like that. Let's just leave this, and then I'll go on, not Golden Lantern, actually I might as well carry on flying, because I want to get back here. Let's carry on this way. Wonder if it's been there since 8.0. I know, that would be really interesting, isn't it? Because that would have been quite a secret, wouldn't it? Gonna put your Bruto there to make gold. So some way to use TSM for vendoring greens worth above a certain gold limit. You can set groups and you can filter everything that's in your bag and make a group based on certain gold amounts. So you can certainly do that, but you'd have to do a certain amount of setup first to make them into a group. What do the respective NPCs that take our 5 million gold do with it? I imagine they put it straight into tokens, definitely. You can make a vendor operation, can't you? I was actually, yes, no, what I was thinking was actually doing it the other way, is putting items over a certain value on the auction house rather than the other way around. Yes, you're right, Darkwing, you could just do a vendor operation and sell anything above a certain or below a certain amount. I've not tried it myself yet, though. Alright, let's have a look at what we have here. We've got expires, obviously. Only 5,000 in sales of potions this week, so not a huge amount of sales. We did get some Silas procs, which was nice, but I haven't stayed on top of my markets at all here. So I'll have another look here. Maybe that was their sunken pleasure yachts. Yeah, it could be that. I think the Brutosaur sellers spent all their gold on food for the Brutosaurs. Can imagine such a big animal needs literal tons of food every day. Yeah, probably. Right, so 5,000 in sales, not a huge amount at all. Let's get our potions on, see if we can generate any more sales tonight. We'll just do my transmute herbs to anchors whilst I'm here. We'll deal with that. Backwards, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. It would be nice since you're doing the 2x4 farm at the moment and want to sell the greens that are worth more than the crafting cost of linen braces. Ah, right, okay. So I guess... So you want to sell those... do you want to sell those straight to the vendor? Or you want to sell those on the auction house, rather? Checking vendor versus disenchant. If disenchant was 4 to 10 higher than vendor, you're still vendor since the lower ones. Straight to vendor. Yeah, so I guess... what could you have a look at? Let's have a look here whilst we're here. I've not really done vendor operations, but I imagine you could probably do a vendoring operation here. You could look at the, there we go, you could look at, you could make a sell operation here. You could use DB market, maximum market value. So you could say have anything over, what say the Tide Spray Bracer price, 150 gold or something like that. Change that to gold. Make a vendor operation like that, and then pop everything in there. That could possibly work. I've not actually used it myself though. I'd have to experiment with it. But that would be what I would do to try and vendor everything above a certain amount. Vendor everything below a certain amount rather. Now let's post on everything here at the moment. No problem, Stopcraft. Obviously you'd have to put all of your items into that group to sell them. Alright, let's put all of this lot on. So potion wise, the market's looking a little bit better in terms of we've got a few potions here that are undercutting the competition, which is quite healthy because when they're below minimum price like this, that means I'm less likely to get sales for those. So we do have quite a few on that we're going to undercut the competition on, so we might get some decent sales of potions at the current prices, which is nice. So I'll have all of those on at the moment, and what I'll do next is just check if we've got a... Oh, we do have a potion of prosperity. That's fantastic. I don't think I really need it at this stage. That's the third time in a row I've got the potion of prosperity after having a 2-week drought of it. Let me just check my auctions, and then we'll see if we need to restock here and have a look. So go to my groups, Silas rank, restock. So it's mainly just the Lightfoot potion that we need to make. We probably have everything we need for that. What does it need? Star moss. Okay, that's fine, we can do that. So let's make these with our potion of prosperity, see if we can get some procs. Did that start through? Craft next isn't on here. Lightfoot potion, let's go back to the standard one and let's have a look here. Lightfoot potion, let's make 15 and create those. There we go. Thanks for all my insight into gold making. Currently doing well in your round with inscription, blacksmithing, tailoring and leatherworking. Currently working on alchemy, hoping for some 100k mailbox day soon. Hopefully, Helen, you're doing the right thing by diversifying, certainly. No luck in 2 days. It can be tricky, definitely. There we go. So, Lightfoot potion done. I'm going to quickly post these on, then leave this character, because we'll save this the Silas buff for later. So I'll just literally post those on. The light feet potions, as they are. There we go. And then hopefully we'll get some sales. And then jump out of this character, ready for next time. How do I determine the amount to restock? So it is all based on the amount I've sold. So I have a fixed amount is that I will craft, I think it's 50 times. My crafting operation is to craft each potion 50 times. That's not necessarily 50 potions, because I will always make more with the Silas proc. But if anything drops below that minimum amount of 50 potions, then it will restock on them, and then I'll craft some more. So it's all part of the crafting operation. So I only end up making more of what I've sold. That's the beauty of TSM, is using it to restock on things like that. Right, let's have a look, Samadan. How have you done for sales this week? We've got a load of expires, 9,000 in gold for Samadan. Mainly war scrolls, it looks like. War scrolls, battle shout, a few champions of Azeroth contracts there. Our bags are looking rather full here. We need to deal with this a little bit. We've got a lot of stuff here that is seafarer shoulder pads and fairweather tunics and things like that. I've got a lot of equipment here I could probably do with selling, and those need to go on anyway. So let's post that lot on so I don't get mixed up with those. Let's go through, run a post scan of those. Need to have at least 40k per day in profit to make your deadline. It's slightly stressing. I can imagine it is. How are you doing at the moment, Justin Rose? I'm sure 40k. I mean, it's a large amount, but hopefully you can get there. Luminous, thank you very much for the follow. Some contracts on your servers goes for 5 gold. People are crazy. That is incredibly cheap, definitely. I wouldn't like those prices. Let's deal with those. There we go, and then we'll open this up. So 9,700. We're taking us just over 100,000 on this character now. So that's a nice position to be in. This is my way of then seeing how profitable Inscription is for me. At the moment, it's okay. It's not stellar, but it's okay. What I need to do is get more depth into this. I need to do more glyphs, and I need to get more reputation going on this character. Then I can do more when it comes to Inscription, certainly. So let's just actually check this for restocking wise. Everything's on now. So if we go to Inscription and we clear the Lightfoot potions, go to our groups, and we'll restock here. So there's nothing to restock on, we have everything we need. Actually no, we probably need to look at our auctions first, and then we can do that again. Nope, that twice. So we need to do it twice. There we go. And now we can restock. Yeah, we've got everything we need, so we're fine there. Good evening, Wave. Hope you're doing well. Had over 600 flasks just waiting for Reset Tuesday to post, because in Illidan the flasks skyrocket then drop. Exactly. What you're doing, the right thing is just finding the best time on your server and going with those, certainly. Oh, Wave coming in with the Prime. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Really do appreciate it, and thank you for being here. Very, very kind of you. Oreo thanks you from his snores behind me. I'll take that as an Oreo thanks as well. So let's jump onto some other characters. We need Urfan and El Morte, our leatherworker and blacksmith. Check how they're doing. Going to be working on glyphs. What you doing your mage 2 next week? Don't feel need to be sweating on the ranks on the BFA stuff at this stage of the expansion. We'll be ignoring alchemy altogether. I think at this stage it's probably a wise decision, certainly. Let's deal with these expires. So we've got some sales, 18,000, so that's good. Tigbitties XL, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. You don't use TSM for anything, but the graph to tell me your daily golden sales curve. Exactly. I mean, that's fair enough, Justin Rose. Use it as much as you like. Now, I was able to get some coarse leather really cheaply and send them over to Urfan here. So what I'll be using this coarse leather for is to make, instead of tide spray linen braces, I'm actually going to make the leatherworking equivalent, the coarse leather arm guards. Here it tells me, because my mat cost I put in manually at 11 gold, it tells me my crafting cost is actually way higher here at, where is it? Why don't we have a crafting cost for that? We should have one. The auctioning cost, min normal. Let's try that in that one. Coarse leather, arm guards. There we go, we've got a crafting cost there. It tells me 73 gold for a crafting cost of those. Tide spray linen I think is down to about 40 odd or something like that. But with a 4 gold, because it's only 6 coarse leather, it's less coarse leather than it is tide spray. Getting coarse leather at the same price as my tide spray, it's actually cheaper for me to make coarse leather arm guards and disenchant those. So I'll be using those for making my expulsum on this character. Let's just deal with all my other bits and pieces. So let's go and post that lot on first. The stuff we sold's over. If the auction expires, do you get the deposit back? No, you only get the deposit back when you make a sale. You can see how handy it is, but use the default one fine. Exactly. If you use that one fine, then by all means do that. Yeah, that's when making things for small profits and high deposit fees ends up costing you more gold. Once you've got enough auctions on that it doesn't really matter so much, then it's okay. But it does take a little while to get to that stage of capital, certainly. Big problem in your realm is there's too many large undercuts, and the undercuts are no longer needed. It drives you insane. It can be frustrating, certainly. Do the Legion Enchanting Pets still sell? I've not tried them in a while, actually. I don't think I even got any on. So how are we looking at the moment? 203,000 on this character, with another 18,000 coming here in sales. So I'll take all of this, and then I'm going to pick up all of the shimmer scale and coarse leather that I bought. Absolutely loads of this for the moment. I don't know how I'm doing for expulsum on this character anyway. So there we go, that's a whole load of coarse leather. We've got 35 expulsum, so a little bit at the moment. Wondered why your Uncanny didn't restock. If I imported the wrong faction of items. Oh right, yes, you've got to remember that with the faction difference. Horde and Alliance are different bracers and things, different Uncanny gear. Right now I'm going to the bank for this, so I'm going to deposit all of this. We've got enough in our free space here, so let's /TSM put course, there we go, drop all of that in the bank, /TSM put shimmer, and put the shimmer scale in as well. There we go, and then we can craft straight from the bank and not have to worry about that. TSM sometimes gets confused when you craft straight from the bank because Blizzard doesn't necessarily recognise that you can do that, but it's worth doing just because you've got a lot of storage in there. Had to stalk down a competitor to see if they were a bot because their council scan at such regular intervals. Been battling for 2 weeks now. I think, especially in today's day and age, with everyone sort of working from home a lot of the time, I think you're getting a lot more people doing that kind of thing regularly, certainly. Just got another 3,000 card of bonus. Very nice. Judging raise, very nice indeed. Right, let me just check everything here. Do we need to restock on anything for here? So a few drums of fury, a few little bits of uncanny gear. Have we got everything we need? We do, so that's even better. Shimmer scale vest, and then we'll do the drums of fury. Advice is to open a bank after a great buying session. Yes, definitely. Only seen one of those cards in your flips. Wow. I guess when you've got the volume you do, it's definitely worth it. Happy it's good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. Did I catch you earlier? It's very up and down with each patch, but average is about 4.7 gold per card. Yeah. A rock of smileys. I like that one. There we go. So we've got all of those relatively easily made. How are we doing for bag expulsum now? 27 expulsum. So that's okay for now. We can post that lot on. Drums of Fury, the odd coarse leather and shimmer scale bit and pieces, and then Uncanny Gear is my main seller. It's currently sitting at 221,000 on that character. And then let's jump out and back into my blacksmith. Let's see how blacksmithing's done this week. These characters are relatively easy to restock on whenever I'm only focused on a small amount of BFA professions for these. Obviously, if I went a bit deeper in these professions with blacksmithing, old world stuff, as well as leatherworking, old world stuff, I could see myself doing a lot more and using up more time that way, certainly. But then there's more gold opportunities that way, so it's all swings and roundabouts, really. Right, so expires. Oh, we do have some good sales here. 49,000 in sales. Currently sitting at 55,000, so that will take this character over 100,000 as well. So this profession is off to a great start in terms of sales so far. Have I got enough room for everything? Looks like I've got a load of storm silver ore I need to probably deposit somewhere. So we have sales, some of my old stuff, wild jade, thorium ore, and the primordial ruby left over from my alchemy days. But then we've also got some uncanny cutlass, plate gauntlets, arm guards, boots, greaves, and another cutlass there, and then some inflatable mount shoes for 3,000. So that takes me to 49,000 in total sales. And that takes me just over 104,000 now, and I have a reasonable amount of stock as well, so let's post on the things we have first. Some of these are below minimum price, the mono hardened hoof plates and stirrups. Inflatable mount shoes are undercutting competition, that's fine, and the uncanny gear all looks fine. And then we've got a few other random bits and pieces that we might get some sales on there as well, so we'll just throw all of those on. I don't know if gatherers in Shadowlands will be able to gather all 6 ores and herbs. You can only gather the common ones and the ones from your covenant. That's an interesting thought, London. I don't know. I don't know enough about it yet. I haven't got onto Alpha yet, but when I do, I'll be able to check that out for you, certainly. Deja SRB, good evening to you. Good to see you. Lovely to have you here. Hope you're doing well. You've opened 320,000 cards since December, and your average is 4.7. So if you buy the herbs for around 1 gold like you do, then you make 3 gold 70 per herb. Oh yes, he did actually, didn't I? haven't had a chance to look at that video yet that Justin Rose talks about. Yeah, check out Want to Buy Gold on YouTube. He's got one about it. Right, so what am I doing? Where am I? I posted everything on, so I need to check my auctions so TSM can see those. Then I need to restock, if anything. Alchemy we're leaving off, we're just restocking on the blacksmithing now. So 1 uncanny combat cutlass. We have the expulsum at the moment. Requires an anvil, of course it does. I forget about that. It's the one problem with blacksmithing. I don't want to waste a thermal anvil when I can just literally just fly around here and do it. And we'll make one here. Need to keep an eye on my amount of expulsum on this character. Currently still got 64, so that's reasonable. I could probably do with dropping some of that ore back into the bank so that I can free up my bag space as well. So we'll do that next. So let's pop those in. Yeah, we've got loads of space here. What's in my reagent bank? Oh yeah, there's a load of stuff here that needs to be cleaned out. Okay, I'll look at that another time. There's a whole load of alchemy bits and pieces in there. Okay, we'll need to sort that out at one point. But I will put all this ore in, so storm silver ore / TSM put storm. There we go, and then the osmanite is just literally those two. These need to go off to Samadan. The dredge ladders I need to keep hold of. Let's put the cutlass in our list. It's probably not in our list actually. Let's have a look. Groups, uncanny selling. Oh no, it is in our list, that's fine. So that will do for that, and then let's head on over to the mailbox. We can send those over to Samadan, and send the tide spray linen, and then we can go and do Ursuline. Thank you very much for the follow. Good to have you here. Just going through and posting everything on at the moment. So here goes the Moral Hardened Hoof Plates and Uncanny Combatants Cutlass of the Fireflash. And Invictus Life, thank you also for the follow. Selling enchants for 150k today. Very nice basic, very nice indeed. If you got the follower, the building is the same value as your daily craft, so go for it. But that way you make 200 gold per day with a daily craft and 200 more from the building. That's what you do with the 46 ult, exactly. You're done with the manual milling. Yeah, I can imagine that's taken you quite a while, Lady Daisy. Yeah, Drizzling the Rose has all the knowledge you need for the garrison stuff. It's very happy to share it as well, so thank you, Drizzling Rose. So let's carry on. We've gone through El Morte. We've restocked on you. We'll have a look at Nadamas with your daily alchemy cooldown and your vendor sales. So there's more I could do with this character, definitely. I've not been thinking too much about investing into this character at this stage because it is Horde side rather than Alliance, and so I can't share the gold with this character. At the moment, I'm just thinking self-sufficiency for the moment. When I would like to expand this further, I will. So let's go through and do our daily cooldown, which gets me my herbs to anchors, my bag of anchors, which we will then open up. We've got 10 anchor weed. Arch Snap, thank you for the follow. I think it was Stolpcraft Darkwing was asking about it. I've been having so much fun in chat, I didn't even see the time. That's mission accomplished then, Drizzling Rose. That's wonderful to hear. If you're having fun and you don't even notice the time, that's brilliant. You buy pet on the Horde and sell on Alliance. I could do that basic, but at the moment I like the idea of keeping it self-contained. We do have some good sales though this week. Let's deal with my expires for the moment. So obviously the anchor weed has been selling when I've been putting it on, so 532 there, 931 there. But we've also sold some vendor things: insulated wiring, chemical blasting cap, wildflower, and a sharp claw for 14 gold. So not too bad, 2,000 gold for the week. Currently at 17,000 gold, so that takes me just under 20,000 gold. So we'll post that lot back on. And then we'll go here and we'll post everything on first. The anchor weed going on for 66 gold. My minimum price there was 24 gold. I'll need to make sure I buy some herbs soon to make sure I can still have enough of that going. How are we doing on that? Let me have a look at my bags. I could probably actually, let's just change this filter to include the TSM filters so we can see the herbs. So we'll go to filters, TSM, and we'll turn on anchor weed and buy BFA herbs. That way we can see our stock levels of all the herbs here at 60, so we've got enough for the moment. And then when that gets a bit more depleted, I can buy some more herbs at whatever price it is at the moment. Jack Attack, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. And then the anchor weed is obviously going to be different. The consumables and things we need to sell those, the fell slate anchors. I don't think I can vendor those. Let me just check. Yeah, the merchant doesn't want that item, so I'm just actually going to get rid of those because they can stack up quite quickly. So we'll get rid of those. There we go. Curb, do I mind to tell you something you found on my enchant import strings? Of course, you go ahead. There we go. Picture of your Pandaren and your Brutosaur. That's it. It was Audi bags here. Eddie bags. Sell green items of dough, certain amount of safety time, grouping the greens. Ah, right, okay. D-Junk add-on works for you. Okay, that's a good idea, actually. Hydro Rich, thank you for the follow. And Old Bones Alpha, thank you very much for your sub. That's very kind of you. Thank you for your support. Lovely to have you here. Here's a whole load of emotes for you to use as you like. Some days ago you got my enchanting operation to expand your sales. It's working so far, thanks. I just want to point that I think I found a small error in my list of enchants for heirloom. That in that list you're selling enchant two-handed weapon impact. When the enchant two-handed weapon greater impact, it's a more powerful version of the same enchant and sells for more. At least that's what you found when you just pasted in your import. Ah, thank you for that one. I haven't looked at that one. Greater impact. I'll have a look at that on Samadan, see if we can fix that up. And what farm craft would I recommend for a server with quite a bad economy? How would you define bad economy, I guess, would be my first instance. What makes it bad? And then also, what makes it good? If you're looking for something to avoid the auction house, then the raw gold farms that you can get through doing like 10 times Skyreach, or some of the old world dungeons, the Pandaria raids and things like that, and then just raw selling stuff to the vendor, that would probably be your best bet if you want to avoid the auction house altogether. But I would question, have a look at where the economy lies in your server and find a niche, definitely. Where was I on here? So we'll just go through here, check my auctions. Then we've got our vendor restock. So we can go through our restock groups here, buy the groups we need there. So wildflower, chemical blasting cap and insulated wiring. Those are the things we needed to buy. So we can then put those straight back on. We'll run a post scan on those. Wildflower, chemical blasting cap and insulated wiring. So with that lot done. Actually, this reminds me, my son is making Desire Law. He's remaking the entire Desire Law in Minecraft. It's quite an epic adventure. He's done so much already. It's absolutely amazing. He's done all of this harbour area here. He's done all of this around here, these two sections here. He's done this bit over here, and then he's blocked out a lot of this stuff all the way up the stairs, all the way to the pyramids as well. It's absolutely an epic project that he's working on, but it's looking really good so far. He's had to make it at the sea is actually at bedrock level, so that he's got enough height to be able to do the pyramid up here. I'll get him to send me some screenshots of his progress so far. Absolutely looks amazing so far. He's put a lot of work into it. And the amazing thing is, he hasn't got flying, so he's having to work out the dimensions of everything from the ground. So that's quite interesting as well. Oh, what am I getting hit by? This scheming thing. Okay, we'll leave that again. Anyone with a druid with flight form who wants to test something for you? That's very specific, Justin Rose. Okay, so we posted those on. We've done the cooldown for that. So we're done with that. Let's log out. And I'll double check Feng Shui, my monk. I'm leveling with my wife this character. I'm up to level 76. She's up to level 77. We're going amazingly fast. It's been really fun to level together. But I'm posting on everything I collect straight onto the auction house just to see what kind of sales I get on this character. We're currently up to 1,600 gold, and my wife's broken 2,000 gold, so she's way ahead on me on this one. But doing really well, having loads of fun. Let me just check, see what kind of sales, if anything, I've got so far. So I do have a couple of things. Frostweave cloth at 118 gold and crawler meat. So I'll take those expires off. That gives me, how much does that give me at the moment? 1,798 gold. So I'll just post that lot on whilst I'm here. I'm literally just throwing everything on here. not worrying too much about it. As I'm collecting, I've got herbalism and skinning on this character, literally just to whilst I'm leveling, and then everything else is just literally being thrown on, which is quite easy. So I'll go through that, that's fine. And then we'll go and check my other... I don't think my character Bridget, I've done much at all with her either. She's also, I've been leveling up in the background, currently at level 70. I would like to get her up further. I've got other things to do with Samadan. I haven't really been doing much in the gold making side of this one. And Hellfire has been completely neglected, my poor little warlock here. She's only level 23. So I'll leave those for the moment. I would like to make a Dark Iron Dwarf Paladin, though, but in order to do that I need to do the quest on Samadan for that. But let's restock on Samadan, because Samadan hasn't restocked on all his enchanting and tailoring, and I've got a feeling that's going to take me a little while to go through. Oh, I missed you, O'Sullivan. Is TSM hard to learn use if you're just starting with it? No, not at all. It can be quite intimidating to start with, but hopefully my YouTube series there will help you out. There we go. Can Dark Iron Dwarves be a paladin? I hope they can, Runa. Otherwise I'm going to be stumped on my my wishes from that point of view. Yes, they can. Okay, that's good. Got 2 to 3 120s lying around, not making gold. What would be the first thing for some passive income to do with them? I would say the alchemy cooldown would be my first thought. That's what I'm doing with Nadamas, and that seems to be working quite well. You do a dungeon or quest. Do I dungeon or quest a level? I do questing rather than dungeons, definitely. Extra View Gaming, good evening to you. Ask you, do I farm any materials at all, or do I buy everything that I use to craft with? I tend to, these days I buy everything, unless there's something that's a particularly high price, like in the past I would get Ember Silk cloth or Shadow Silk, and I'll go out and buy that myself, farm that myself, because I knew the farms quite well, and I would go out and get those. But most of the time I literally buy stuff, because I find it more enjoyable for me to be buying and restocking rather than doing the farming itself. So let's have a look here. Look at my auctions. So we've got those sales. I haven't had any more sales since then, so that's fine for now. Let's go and restock on the things that we can restock on. I've got a feeling this is going to be a lot of stuff. So we've got lots of enchants, some cooking and some tailoring, a lot of bags here, otherworldly, hexweave, frostweave, netherweave, and then some cosmetic items as well. Silkweave satchel is there as well. Cooking, the standard stuff that I've been making. I need to expand on my cooking, I'm not doing the current 8.3 stuff. Shadow Silk, 120 gold on your server, doing Lower Blackrock's Fire. Also heard some cave to get them. I'm not sure about the cave, but yes, I do Lower Blackrock Spire as well. I do that little run straight through. I do it either on Samadan or my Druid. No problem, Next Year Gaming. 14 days left to redeem your 30 days free Tradesville Masker Premium. There we go, thank you, Jack. Yeah, that's not long. If you are interested in trying TSM Premium out, Jack's got the code for you there. So let's have a look at this. Restocking lots of stuff from the guild bank mainly, which is always nice to see. Some of this I'm going to have to buy from the... Now, who had that in the bank? I'm sure someone had Sun's Radiance. But we'll leave that for the moment. Let's do our daily cooldowns first. So Hexweave Cloth will do, and Temporal Crystal will do. At least get those going. Then explorations we can ignore. There's a whole load of stuff we need to get from the guild bank. In terms of my bags at the moment, we've got enough space for now, so let's head on over there. Is it not 30 days total? It's till the 31st. Is it really? Is it not 30 days from when you start it? Oh, interesting. Ah, interesting. Right, Guild Bank. Let's collect up everything we need. Shalderai Silk, Essence of Undeath, Rubbery Flanks, Green Dye, Frostweave Cloth, 300 of that. Lots of different things here. I've got a good stock of tie spray here as well, obviously, for when I need it. Is there any way to see all sellers and the quantity they are selling? I don't think it's easy unless you've got some auctions yourself at that price. I can't remember if the standard auction house interface shows you or not. Right, we've got a few things left there. So what have we got? We've got some crafts we need to make. There's some stuff we need to get from the auction house here. Wild Jade, Sun's Radiance, Ember Silk Cloth. So that's interesting. It's saying bolt of Ember Silk Cloth here. It thinks that the bolts are actually cheaper than the Ember Silk Cloth itself. Let's have a look at this. Go into our shopping and scan these. See what kind of prices things are. So 8 silver for Mage Weave Cloth. That's very cheap. What's the market price for that? My mat cost is telling me 24 silver. So having some at 8 silver is definitely cheap. There's 3,600 at that price. I'm tempted to just stock up on that and just give me a decent amount for the moment. So how much would all of that cost me? 3,600. Alethlion, thank you very much for the follow. 290 gold. That's really not a lot of money at all. So we'll just take it at that cheap price. Now, bolt of Ember Silk Cloth at 8 gold 90. My crafting cost is telling me 9 gold 54. I would probably want to check the price of Ember Silk Cloth itself. So let's just go back and search on this. And search for Ember Silk Cloth. We should have the bolts here as well. So the Ember Silk Cloth is 186, which is similar to my mat cost of 190. So therefore the bolts, which take 5 Ember Silk Cloths, are definitely cheaper here by a small margin. So I'm actually going to take all of these bolts at 870. I might as well pick those up. I've got 5 in my bags. How much would that cost me? 1,600, so that's a little bit more, but then I've got them in stock, so I'll keep them for now. I always like to overstock if I can, if the price is reasonable. If the price is right, definitely. Code will be active from today, May the 1st, through to May the 31st Pacific. Ah, right, okay. So it is from there. Buy them all. Remembered wrong then. And Dehiro TV, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So we've got our bolts of Ember Silk Cloth, so we don't need to bother with that now. So everything else here is particularly expensive. So Volatile Earth, 196%. This is going to be mainly for... This is going to be for some of my Tome of Illusions, I imagine, the Sun's Radiance and the Wild Jade and the Volatile Earth. Let me just check my enchanting here. So we need this for crafting, Tome of Illusions. So Volatile Earth is needed for the Tome of Illusions Cataclysm. So if we were to look at that, let's search for Tome of Illusions Cataclysm. So it's saying a 1,292 profit, so I can afford to buy that a little bit more expensive. I only need 5 of those, so that's okay. And let's look at the Wild Jade and everything there. So we're looking at that. I had some trouble finding my economy blog. Is there an easy way to find it? The current one should be on the main news site. If you go to Wowhead, let me have a look. So if you go here and you go onto recent news, you should find it there straight away. If that fails you, I've put all my past ones up on my Discord. I have a special channel just for the Wowhead blog, so that should be easy enough to find certainly. Is my mat cost a custom price source? The only thing I've added in, Ghost Sierra, is to add in average buy into my mat cost for most of my things, because for me that kind of that works best for me. Can someone explain to me how TSM calculates crafting costs through multiple crafting steps? How can it calculate the profit if you bought it at different prices? It will work on your material cost throughout the steps, and then it will use either the min buyout or the DB market, depending on how you've got it set up, to then work its way through the steps. And then you can specify certain things or specify very specific things on certain materials in the steps up there. If you want to tell TSM that actually no, I bought this for an average price of 11 gold, you can even put in a manual price for that, or just tell it average buy in the materials. So you go into crafting reports, materials, and you can put in specific figures for the things in the list here. But by default, it will be the minimum between. It doesn't normally have average buy, I've added that in myself, but it'd be the minimum between DB market, crafting, vendor buy, or convert DB market. Oh, you didn't find a section for all the blogs. Yes, no, there isn't one for all the economy blogs. It's in. I've got them in my Discord. I need to find a way of sorting that out more specifically. And then Secrets of the Shadow Pan needs the Sun's Radiance, and Pandaria needs the Wild Jade. So I need to check on those two tomes just to make sure my profit margins are worth me putting them at that price. So 967 on Pandaria. And Secrets of the Shadow Pan is 2,000, so that should definitely be worth doing as well. So, from looking at those quick checks before buying them, I should be able to buy these at higher than my my average buy price. So, looking at that, we can take the Sun's Radiance. I need. Let's have a look here. I'm only going to buy exactly what I need this time. So, I'm going to buy 2 of those. And Volatile Earth, I need 3, so I'm going to buy 3 of those. And then Wild Jade, I need 2, so I'm just going to buy 2 at that point. There we go. And the Ember Silk Cloth we got already. The buy from vendor for the other bits is easy enough. So we'll go to buy here and we'll collect up all of those. And then we need to go and open the mail. So we'll go here and we'll pick up all of my purchases. We've got the sales coming through. That's 11,000. That's all that mage weave cloth we bought. That's going to be interesting. Let's take up the nylon thread, tie spray linen, and all of that at the same time. Then we're going to need to make a whole load of bits of tailoring bits and pieces for this. So I don't know if I've got much space in my guild bank for all that mage weave. Let me check my tailoring. Oh no, we do have some space. So let's put in some of this mage weave. I'm not sure I've got enough space for it all here. Let's combine that and that into there, then we can get at least the Shalderai silk in. I might take out the Tide Spray linen, and we could probably turn a lot of this into bolts, and that will make it a lot easier. Some of this old world stuff like the mage weave, turn that into bolts, and then it should be a lot easier to store. We'll deal with that maybe a bit later. That should be enough for now. I'll leave that, and then we'll have a look at what we do need. Oh, we do need that Shalderai silk actually. Let's pop that back. Hold on. Take one of that and one of that. There we go. That's easier. A poor kill bank. Yes, I know. Right, so with that, let's look at our tailoring. So we'll use the standard interface for this because it's actually quicker and easier. So bolt of mage weave. I could make 368 now, but I'm not going to bother with that many for now. So I'll just make the 16 I need. And we'll go through our all our different bits of tailoring stuff. I'd love to know how much would I pay for adding an 8th tab for my guild bank. Thinking about selling a token that opens it up, trying to guesstimate the possible price. What does the token that opens it up? I didn't even realise that's something you could buy or sell. You're willing to pay 100k for it. That sounds reasonable, perhaps. Have I got the actual 8th tab here? I haven't checked in my guild bank. Let's go have a look. Hold on, what have we got? Rosald, thank you very much for the follow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 I've got. So what gets us an 8th tab? How do we get hold of an 8th tab? Nice to be able to catch the tail end of my stream. I've been busy lately with work. Well, it's lovely to have you here, Daniel Hedge. I hope you've been well. We're just going through restocking on Samadan at the moment. You need the guild achievement Stay Classy. Okay. And so Stay Classy, what does that require us to do? Quest log, guild and communities. What have we got here? Roster perks. Stay Classy. Armadillo Pup. Guild Herald. There must be something here. Here we go. Guild Vault Voucher. Extended storage. The 7th slot. So I've already got that, I think. And that requires Stay Classy. So how do I get Stay Classy? Where does it show us? Info on those. Can't see one. If the guild with the achievement buys and spends a token from the vendor, the token is no longer available. You've got the achievement but haven't bought or used the token. Alright. All classes to 120. Press Y for guild achievements. Okay, thank you. Let's have a look. Y guild. There we go. Guild achievements. Stay Classy. Thank you, Silent Mouse. Stay Classy. Complete the Classy achievement listed below. Classy humans, Classy gnomes. Classy Pandaren. Requires reach max level on each of the Pandaren classes listed below. Oh, wow. Okay. All classes of all races. Oh, right. No problems, Aura Warrior. Lovely to have you here. Hope to see you again soon. Each race to have each class a max level and need a rep with the guild. Okay, as a sole owner of this guild, that could be very difficult. Company you work for delivers medical supplies and masks to the healthcare, so you could say we're working overtime right now. I bet you are, Darren. Well, thank you ever so much for everything your company is doing. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, that is a tough one to get for that guild tab, definitely. Rather create 8 more guilds for all of your alts. I'm of the same mind, Metcat. I'd be very tempted just to make all of my each of my alts have their own guild, definitely. To make a new tune and guild bank cheaper and more space. Exactly. That would definitely be worth it for me. I think that way round. You're the sole earner and you earn the achievement by making class trials. Lots of time it took. The top level was 110 back then. Okay, I could see how that would work, yeah. Thank you, Metcat. If I want to, now is the time. Yeah, that is a lot of alts. I'll be up to Drizzling Rose's standards by then. As a common bag between your tunes for the past half a year, so much easier than mailing things, that's true. You'll help for 5 million. There we go, sold. Right, let me make these things at the moment. Skazka, are you? Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. We're going to make the last of our things here. So 16 nether weave. Let's create those. Then 60 bolts of frost weave. So the frost weave bags are going to take a fair amount. We just need 1 alt, 5 in total. Make alts and help you out. Yeah, but then you'd have to get the guild rep as well. I think that's the hard part. But thank you for the offer, Jack. It's kind, but I don't need that 8th tab that much, really. I would rather, like others have said, I would rather make a different guild for each one. I'll help for 5 million help. I'll do it for a shout out. So easy to get guild rep, renowned guild tab it. Oh right, okay. I don't think I even have that yet. I'll have to look into that one certainly. Frostweave, let's create those. There we go. 100k for the tab token is alright then, I guess. I would say so, serious. Guild rep is fairly easy. Should be done when you ding 120 while the character is in Trader Joe's. You also get the guild tabard. Your guild has the stay classy, but it's also your old raiding guild who everyone left but you. Oh right, Jizzing Rose. Well, that's handy, definitely. We can help you out making every character a guild for you. Yeah, I can understand that, but oh, for each character a guild. Oh, I see what you mean in terms of like splitting it up between them. So yes, that would be useful, Jack. I won't do that now. But yes, that would be possibly useful in the future. Although we've got enough at the moment. I have 2 guilds at the moment split across my characters. So I've got the main Trader Joe's one that Gumdrops very kindly gave me, and then I've got Samadan Plays WoW, the guild, which has my lower characters in at the moment. Just plan it and we can do it for like 30 minutes. Yeah, definitely. Streamer benefit, certainly. That's very kind of you. It's called Make It Count, and on your last poll every night we said, okay guys, let's make it count. It was some of the best fun we had in WoW. Oh, that sounds brilliant, Justin Rose. It's a shame the guilds like that disband, certainly. I know my son was looking for a guild at some point, because he was looking for that kind of sort of camaraderie and raiding atmosphere as well, because he's never raided before. But he hasn't got his characters that he wants up to 120 yet, and then he's got sidetracked by his Minecraft project at the moment, which is fair enough. Alright, let's make all of these. Imbued Frostweave coming after that. Bolt of Frostweave, and then 30 bolts of Imbued Frostweave. I'll create those. Got plenty of Infinite Dust for the moment. 333 in the Guild Bolt as well. 1.7 million to go. Looks like it's coming along. Very nice, Impal. Very nice indeed. It's almost there. It's tantalisingly close. When you get to that last million, I'm sure it'll feel even closer. I started trading in your 3,300 Savage Blood. I'm going to hit the 4 million mark when you're 1/3 done. 4 million in 10 minutes. Here you come. Excellent, Jizzing Rose. That's another lovely milestone, definitely. I wonder if there can be a market for it to sell guilds, as long as it can be easy to do. Yeah, definitely. Potato Fruitcake, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Currently just restocking at the moment. We've got a little bit more to do here on Samadan, and then we can make all the things. 25k per guild. I mean, it depends how much money you're willing to throw around, really, definitely. Spirit Lord, good evening to you. I was thinking that would be quite high, but then I would probably be quite probably not the sort of person that would want to buy a guild necessarily. Doing any recipe hunting, I find it very fun. We're trying to get all the recipes for a profession. Yeah, I would like to do that at some point, definitely. I haven't got a plan yet. I mean, one of my options, really, my first options, is to actually just go and look for them on the auction house. Because you can go and look for /recipe/usable/ say enchanting. and then look on the auction house for any recipes that I haven't got yet. I mean, that's a good first start, certainly. If I've got the spare gold, that is, to buy some of these and just buy any of these, and that should be a good start of my sort of recipe collection, as it were. But I'm not there yet. I can't quite justify it. Finally got a steady stream of gold working on Kazakh, which you found a big win. Oh, fantastic. Got a sweet silence proc, so restocking some pots. Fantastic. Congratulations on that. But yeah, I'm glad you've got a steady stream of gold going. That's lovely to hear. Bolt of silk cloth next. Let's create those 5, and then we're ready to make everything we need. We can go through that. Okay, so that can be closed. We can go to the regular TSM. One thing we're missing here is hexweave cloth. Looking at that, so let's go visit my garrison, and we'll sort out that, because I've got plenty of garrison resources. Let's have a look. Actually, I've actually maxed out on garrison resources. I'm at 10,000, so I need to go and spend them in my trading post. If I can buy something, either sumptuous fur would be nice if it's a reasonable enough price. I can have a look at that. So I'll just open up the missions first. That should be, yeah, so I don't have the garrison resources here, so the rush work orders, we'll do those. Those are the main things we want to do. I won't bother with any more garrison resources until we've spent what we've got. There's no point collecting anything at this stage. So let's have a look at that. Wrong button, I meant that one. Let's go head over to my trader. What kind of price have we got today? So, trading post, where are you? This one? What's a good price? What's at 16? Raw beast hides at 32. Sumptuous fur is at 40. Drainic dust is at 32. They all seem quite pricey. Where's the ones that's usually at 16? Am I missing something? Let me just go over here.
I am listening.
No, not you. Armoured iron tusk, that's interesting. Let's have a look at this again under the standard interface. 24, 24. Oh, there we go. Raw ball meat. Let's have a look at that again. There we go. That's a bit better. So it looks like it's the meat that's probably not that useful to me. Sumptuous fur I would like, and raw beast hide I would like, but those aren't at a decent enough price. The same with drainic dust, possibly. So I'll leave those for the moment. I'll have to come back here at another time and see if I can get those at a decent price. But in the meantime, let's carry on down and pick up. This is looking a little sparse. I'm sure I've done this more recently. Why haven't I got more here? Have I run out of things on restock last time? Let me just check this. Where are you? Okay. Sumptuous fur, I should have enough. Okay, that's interesting.
Safe travels.
So that's now filled up. Nothing is... It's the goblin, the meat goblin. Nothing is ever cheap from a goblin. Yeah, it looks like it. It's definitely not worth it. And where's my person? You're normally here. Have you disappeared as well? Where is my crafting work order person? You seem to be... Oh, there you are. You're hiding. Your coloured robes. Do all of those, and then we can at least pick up from our bags the rush work orders which we picked up. There we go. It's the enchanter study. I wish I'd had the hexweave one, because that would have been nicer, and sadly no, not on this stage. We'll pick up the fractured temporal crystals here at the moment. There we go. Right, where have you gone again? He's moved around. There we go, I can hardly see him. There we are. Right, drainic dust done there. So I can't remember being at my garrison for a long while, so I'm surprised that I hadn't restocked on any more of those. So that is surprising, but nonetheless we do have, well, 36 hexweave cloth isn't going to get us where we want at this stage. I don't think I can do any primal weaving. I can actually do a little bit. I have some spare sumptuous fur and spare primal weaving. I don't really use this for anything else, so I might make the hexweave bags that I need just out of this a little bit, because the hexweave bags themselves, they're down to 929 again, so I'm going to just make up the spare that I need here. So I need 40, I have 40 hexweave cloth. That means I would need to do 30 primal weaving just to fill that slot. Let's do that for the moment. I've been ready to catch you checking out my treasure trove Easter egg in Toldagor. I did. We had a look at that on Awakening. We had a look at it. There's no loot at all. No, it's literally just a visual thing. It's just a nice little pile of gold at the bottom of the ocean. Doing it right now on a mage right now for Bag and Blood. I hadn't thought it was so profitable. Oh yes, that's for the thing Driscoll was saying. Still kind of like the way the garrison NPCs wander about. Sometimes like it isn't really all about you after all. Yeah, that is true actually, Commander Bard. I do like that. I'm just going to make... this isn't the cheap way of making hexweave cloth, but I'd like to get at least a bag on at the moment. And I don't really use my primal spirit for much else. I could do with getting some more sumptuous fur though. Looking at that, we are using up a fair amount of it here. So what I would look at here in this stage would be a min buyout of 2 gold at the moment. Mat cost is 171. That's probably all right. Good night, Edwards. Lovely to have you here. Hope to see you again soon. So let's have a look. Whilst I'm here and I remember, let's have a look at sumptuous fur. Sumptuous fur is here. Let me just shift click on that. So actually it's currently at 3 gold 50, so I won't be buying any sumptuous fur at that price. So I'm going to have to use the trader at some point. What I might use, I might buy them expensive from the Goblin for a moment, simply because I've maxed out on my garrison prices at the moment. So this is very, very little in terms of cost effectiveness, but I can at least buy some. Let me just close that to the standard one. I'm just going to get myself, say, a stack would cost me 8,000 resources. I have, how many do I have? Actually, that's quite a lot. I won't do a stack at that price, because that's just not cost effective. So let's do 100. Let's cancel that. Let's do 100. That will use up some of my garrison resources so that I'm not hitting the cap of it at the moment. It's not effective, definitely. And then I'll just go here and I'll click on my actual garrison resources that are here. That I'll have there, an extra 500 there. And then I can go through here. I'm just checking a few. There we go. Wasn't there a method to buy primal spirits? I'm not sure exactly. Ghost here. I have just like a huge amount. Anyway, I got them passively a long time ago, and I never really sort of used them or found a use for them at all. So we've got a few extra ones here. Garrison resources. We can just take a few of these missions. Like so. That one's at 59, so that's fine. I'll just leave those, so at least I can restock on our garrison resources for the moment. Not to be confused with the trading post. The trader is in your level 3 main building every day. You have a 50-50 chance for a trader or a quest giver. Trader is also on a rotation each day, but some people always get them. Yeah, I tend to get whenever I've visited, I've always had a trader, certainly. All right, let's go to this Snug Harbour Inn. Finish it off there, I think. It's off when you farm, but thank you. Okay. What's your crafting operation? Want you to transmute, switch to a transmute slave when you're at max alchemy on your current character. I I guess TSM is thinking that is cheaper, or whether that character is actually trying to craft with that character, or is it just giving the choice between the two, perhaps? Literally, the one-time setup and automatically handles missions in the garrison. Garrison commander. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I'm using Garrison Mission Manager, which I quite like the way of just being able to choose things. Makes it quite easy. So let's have a look. What was that? 25 primal spirits means 50 gold, raw gold, in a bag. Oh, right, okay. Convert to a bag that gives nearly 50 gold, so you'd not use a primal spirit unless it gives 2 gold of value. Ah, okay, that's interesting. So that's, what did I miss out on then? Did I need to basically just make the, wonder if there are any secrets that take you there. Yeah, it could be interesting. Or whether you got something like the N'Zoth mask or something like that. Each spirit is 5 fur, so 125 fur. So you make spirit bags, each fur is 1 gold. So bags are worth it if they sell for 750 gold or more. Ah, right, okay, so I think I missed out something on the primal spirits. I don't really follow what happens with the primal spirits, to be honest. I haven't looked into it too much. Perhaps I should do some more research. But in the meantime, I've got a load of crafting to do. So let's do all of my enchanting first and foremost. So bags are worth it if they sell for 750 gold or more. Yeah, at the moment, bags are normally worth it for me, because they're fast sellers. Let's make all of these enchants. And now it's got stuck on that one, so I'll do a reload and we'll come back to that in a moment. Do I also craft the 36 slot profession bags? I do. The Hyjal expedition bag is the main one I've focused on. I haven't done any of the others, to be honest, but I probably should do the enchanting one. Is there an enchanting one? There might be, actually. Feather sells various mats of primate spirits. Savage blood costs 25 primal spirits. Take the blood to the trading post vendor that sells the bags with 50 gold inside. Aha, I see. Thank you, Sirius. Reminds me, you need to do the raid for the recipe for the rank 3 bags. Yes, it is worth doing, certainly. So that's on, hat's on, cooking's on, McDowell's Big Mac. Load of that, load of biltong, load of baked potatoes, and a bit of fried risole. There we go. Strangely, there isn't an alchemy bag. Yeah, it would be useful if there was one, yeah. Can you get rank 2 bag, rank 3 bag in LFR? Yes, we did it. When did we do it? We did it not so long ago. And we were in the LFR raid then, definitely. It's not a guaranteed drop. Not everyone got it who needed it. But I was lucky enough to get it myself, certainly. If you have a level 3 barn, you can catch wolf every... Oh, that's for the Drizzling Rose. Thank you, Silent Mouse. Another 10 minutes, so we should be able to craft this lot at least, if nothing else. Do I farm my old world mats myself, or do I buy them? I tend to buy them if I can. Most of the time I do buy them. I'm not much of a farmer, to be honest. But I will go out and farm if I deem it necessary, certainly. Right, so let's do our bags. The netherweave bags just take so long to make. That's why I only ever make 4 of these. Aquaplex, thank you very much for using your Prime. That's incredibly kind of you. Whoop, I just pressed the wrong button there. Thank you for your support. I see a whole lot of emotes for you. Thank you very much indeed. There we go. going to carry on making nothing. Silkweave satchels are much quicker, thankfully. Admiral's hat, tuxedo jacket, azure silk vest. That's usually a popular one. And then the shirts, obviously. Flying carpet has varied in price a fair amount, from a few hundred gold to a few thousand gold. Then obviously we have the otherworldly bag, which is what's the otherworldly bag? That's the otherworldly bag is the 36 slot enchanting bag. That's the one I've got at the moment. I also have the Hyjal expedition bag. Those are the two that I currently have on my list to make. What am I missing there? Did I make one of those by mistake? Or maybe it didn't register that. Hold on. Flying carpet. Did we actually make one already? Yes, we have got one here already. TSM just must not have recognised it as I was fiddling with everything there. So let's just clear the queue on that one. Then we can post everything on. Last time I watched, I had like 20 to 30 viewers, and I was sitting on a pillow on the floor. Excaliant, thank you very much for stopping by. Yes, I kind of miss not sitting on the floor, to be honest. Since I've moved myself upstairs, since I've been working from home, I certainly miss that. And obviously we've got help from the Wowhead blog with having it in bed. But it's lovely to see the growth, and thank you everyone for coming here. I really do appreciate it. Almost bedtime, yes, we're just going to finish off here. We've got a few different bits and pieces to post on here. Probably not sure what I'll be able to fit into the last sort of 5-10 minutes here. Maybe have a look at, well, let's get all of this lot on first and foremost. Get all that done. Oh geez, Rick 23, thank you for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Oh, so happy that the rep buff is over. has it been tough on you, Silent Mouse? I mean, you have been doing all the world quests, haven't you? So I can see how you'd be glad that's over. I never got round to it enough myself, certainly. How are we doing in terms of world quests? Thinking about that, Storm's Wake and things like that are fine. I'm not going to do any world quests tonight though, just as I'm finishing up here. But we are in a decent position at the moment. So everyone's restocked, everything's posted on. In terms of what I was looking at, one of the other things I was looking at was the Dark Iron Dwarf. I need to look into what I need to do here. So I need to do the Mother Load and recover the Iron Foe from Mogul Razdunk. So that's a dungeon I've not done, but isn't that one that I have the mythic key for? Oh no, that's Operation Mechagon Workshop. Okay, so that's a level 7 Operation Mechagon Workshop I've got at the moment. So maybe I'll have a look into doing that during the week, and we'll do something there. Maybe do the Mother Load and maybe do Operation Mechagon. Chapter, good evening to you. I'll be here to watch a bit because you're tired from work, but glad to catch me live. Wish you luck with the gold fan. Well, it's very kind of you. I am literally just finishing off, but it's lovely to have you here, even for a short period of time. From day one of the rep buff, wow, Silent Mouse. All the emissary quests on 10 characters every day, sometimes every 2 days. That is just amazing, Silent Mouse. How much gold have you tracked? How much gold you've made through that? Oh, that's so kind of you to say so, Lizelle. Very kind of you indeed. Posted video of, that was from the Xbox controller, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that was really good looking at that. Let's just tidy this up whilst we're here, actually. We can do that. We can tidy up our guild bank just to finish off. Ishkalar, thank you very much for the follow. We're just running through and finishing off a few different things here. So let's get the tide spray into the bank. We'll do that. So /TSM put tide /TSM put Nile for nylon thread. And we've got a load of other stuff here. I've got some recipes here that I need the previous rank for. The feast we need to do. That's something else we need there. And Dark Sibelia, thank you for the follow. And we've also got a whole load of mage weave cloth. We were going to sort that out, weren't we? So we can probably make that into bolts of mage weave. I think my reagent bank is looking quite full as well at this stage. There's probably a few things I don't actually need in there from the look of things, but I'll keep that for the moment. Let's go over to my guild vault here, which is also looking quite full. There's a lot of stuff here. There's some cake left over. That's going to stay there till next year. Let's pop in the mage weave cloth. We could probably pop in there, but I don't really want to split all my cloth too far. I would rather take some well, the thing we need to do here is make bolts, and then the bolts will have more room here, like we've done here with the bolt of windwall cloth and the bolts of linen cloth. We'll do the same with the bolts of mage weave, and then that will condense all of that a great deal of stuff. But I'll do that. There's no need to do that on stream. We can do that at a later time. So I'll keep that on me at the moment. That should be fine. Not 100%, but we'll check tomorrow. I think it'll end up around 230 to 250,000 gold. This is on top of the normal TSM stuff. Sadly, most markets have crashed, but that is good solid gold just from the Paragon chests. Definitely. Bailey made a video on how to set up a controller back in 2018. Wow. Was that the one he did with all of the immersion stuff as well? Just in rows. I remember that, I think. Oh, I missed a little bit up earlier there. Thank you, Darkwing, for stopping by. See you again soon. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Sorry if I missed you just leaving them. Learners clicking on the items and herbs and ore. Quest mobs givers is built into the add-on. Oh, right, okay. It's when the action cam console command came out. Ah, right. That's interesting. I think I'm pretty much done for here in terms of Samadan. There's probably not a lot more I'll do in the last sort of 3 minutes, so I'll probably finish up the stream here. But I do want to say a big massive thank you to everyone who's hung out in chat tonight. It's been really lovely having your company. I think we'll send some love over to someone else. So let's have a look and see who is streaming that we can send some love on over to. Got lots on here. So we have... now, I'd like to do one probably a bit different, actually. Having a look here, there's some... we have Hello Octoberly is doing some gold farming. Also has a doggo in the background, which is great. So I think we should send some love over that way, because I haven't given her a raid before. Slash raid. And we'll send some. Now, if I may try it, then she's super nice. Yeah, I've got her, had her on my list for a long time. So let's have a look. 4 million crossed. Oh, fantastic, Justin Rose. Congratulations. Let make sure I've spelt this correctly. There we go. Okay, so we're going to send a raid over to Hello Octoberly. So thank you all for such a lovely stream tonight. Really, really enjoyed your company. Till next time, we'll have another stream on Tuesday. We'll probably do Mythic Plus there. Maybe even do that Motherload. Have a look at what we can do in terms of a bit of progression on Samadan here. It felt like a 1 hour stream. Well, thank you all. So busy with typing. I know, it's been absolutely amazing, so thank you all. And from myself and Oreo, who's still fast asleep, we'll send a raid over to Hello Octoberly. So thank you all. Until next time, good night and farewell. Oh, that didn't work. Invalid username. Hold on. Let me try that again. Slash raid Octoberly. Let's try that again. There we go. That should work. Okay, that's coming through. And so till Tuesday, have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Here we go.